Welcome, everybody. I'm going to just give you a very brief introduction to this whole concept. The virtual screen behind me is a big pattern picture done by a board member of the Permaculture Institute of North America. And I wanted to say a few words about the big pattern and the smaller patterns and working inwards the way permaculture people do. Mainly, there's a huge movement at this point going on in North America to do something about a multitude of crises that are hitting the planet, particularly the climate one, with all the storms and fires that have been going on and are going to get worse, and food supply problem that's going to get worse, and so on and so on. And the thing about it is that there's a lot of, I think, for me, hope that something serious will happen in the good direction about this whole business. And I want to say particularly that as a board member of Permaculture Institute of North America, PINA, that we've been growing rapidly. We've got board members now in Mexico, Canada, and all over the United States pretty much. And we're beginning to have a real impact, and we're getting likely access to fairly large amounts of money in the next few years. And that's in a context where a lot of stuff is going to be happening nationally in the government. So in the US government and probably others as well. So locally, we have been, a bunch of us since July have been trying to put together a Southeast Texas permaculture community, which is to say what I see as a reasonable possibility to allow people to interact and talk with each other, to communicate, to know who's out there, what they're doing, and get together around anything they really want to get together around. So that from my point of view as a community activist and a permaculture person, this is high yield, low cost in labor, low cost in money, and potentially any amount of huge amounts of possibility. So that's a whole bunch of stuff that we've been doing, and we're going to share with you tonight that whole business. But I want to say that there's a step that goes after this, is that if we're well organized, we may well develop relationships with a similar effort that's going on in Florida and in Alabama, and run something right across the northern Gulf of the United States, where stuff about hurricane protection or growing citrus trees or anything else, actually, they know something about that in Tampa as well as here. So anyway, I just wanted to show that's a big picture, small picture, and even this picture, Southeast Texas permaculture community is very ambitious. But at the same time, there's about 250 people that have graduated permaculture certificate course in Southeast Texas, or who knows, some of them may have left the area, but there's a huge number of people that potentially need to be talking with each other easily. So that's what we're doing. I need to introduce people. And so there's the list of people. And we've got most of these people on the call tonight. We're missing Lily, who's on vacation. And I think everybody else, Ray is not on here, I noticed, but Sean McFarlane, Suzanne Boniface is going to talk to us. Jessica Antonelli is going to talk to us. Shelley Immel is going to talk to us. But a bunch of us have been trying to build some kind of permaculture network for years and years and years now. And finally, I think we've got something that will work. So I think the next person on the list is it Suzanne? Is that right? Or is it Jessica?
That'd be me, Jessica.
No. Okay.
Alrighty. Well, I'm really excited to introduce y'all to our online Southeast Texas permaculture community. And here it is. So this is inside our Mighty Network. So Mighty Network is just the name of the platform that we've built this on. And you'll recognize it looks very much like other social networks that you might be familiar with. So it's very much like a Facebook or maybe like a LinkedIn or something, but just a lot more focused. So what's so wonderful about our network here is that there are no ads, there are no distractions. You're not going to get stuck watching little cat videos. This is all about permaculture and specifically in our very localized area. So what's really fun here is, of course, we can make connections with each other, but also search out specific topics that we might be interested in that, okay, yes, you could Google, but it's so much more valuable to be able to speak to somebody else in your area that might be able to talk to you about a question you have or something you would like to share, or if you're hosting an event. So whenever you enter our network here, first you're going to be asked to make a profile, and all of your personal information would be up here in the top right corner when you add a picture. And it's also fun to get to know people by reading their biographies and seeing a little bit about them. You scroll down. Here I am on the home page, and it's just like the kind of Facebook scroll where you see the most recent activity of what people have been doing. And we have been posting already specific videos with some of our local permaculture grads. Like here we had a great conversation with John Gonzalez, who does small permaculture in his backyard, had tons of great tips for us. And as you can see, you can also post and give comments about the video or ask questions. And then John Gonzalez could theoretically write back and say, blah, blah, blah. Yes, I have this type of water tank in my backyard or whatever. As you can see, it features different members that actually live physically near you. And it just features all kinds of really great ways that we can interact and get to know each other better. I want to show you really briefly just a few of the main areas that you can navigate through to make the most out of this community. So I personally like using the Discovery button over here on the sidebar. And this is sort of a shortcut for almost all of the other tabs on the sidebar, but you can see them all in one place. So first you'll see the top posts. So videos that have been popular, whichever posts have been getting the most engagement are going to go here. And I encourage you to read our purpose and comment, give any of your suggestions to kind of hear a little bit more about what we've been doing. You can learn more about members and read their profiles here. And one thing that I think is especially exciting are the topics. So for example, if you happen to be very interested in school gardens, for example, you could click that topic and you'd see everything that has been specifically tagged for school gardening. So there's a Children's Permaculture Summit event that's happening now, right? It appears. And since this is something I've been interested in, I've posted some of my favorite resources about school gardening in this topic. So it is a nice way to quickly get to specific topics you want to learn more about or share more about. We've got some great ones that have already been delineated, but we can always add more topics. And you can also find featured articles or posts. So for example, we've got the map, the Kumu map that we built in our featured section. So this is where we really want to push the most important things. And you'll be learning all about our Kumu map in just a minute, but it's such a great resource and it's easy to find here in the featured section. And there's also an events area. So you can find an event near you, whether it is online or in your area. So it would give you a link to the Zoom meeting. You can RSVP, or if you happen to be interested in hosting an event, it's a great place to get people to show up, and specifically the permaculture people that maybe you don't have their email. Now you have a way to contact them. So this is one I'm especially excited about. And then we also have specific groups, which we're just getting started. So right now our permaculture designer group is a private area for people who've received their PDC to have more conversations about perhaps more advanced topics. And that's all here in the Discovery tab. So this is really kind of the cream of the crop area where you're going to see all of the best and really easily get to the things that might interest you in our network here. You can also find a lot of these same subjects or different sub areas in the sidebar. So members, you can read more about everyone, find out if you know anyone, maybe someone from your PDC class who is in our group. Topics also is over here. You can see a different view of that and get to know more about our topics. Events also has its own little section, and also groups. And I also wanted to point out what to do if you're interested in sharing something yourself. So very much like other social networks, just at the top here, you'll see this little field where it asks you to share what's on your mind. And you can add whatever you want to say. Woohoo. And add a topic if it's something that would fit under one of our pre-built topics. You can also choose not to add a topic if you wouldn't want to. You can add a YouTube video, quickly add a link and it'll pop right up there, or a photo by clicking that little picture, and add an attachment, all kinds of things you can do, and just quickly post it. And that's really about it. Another cool feature is you can privately chat with other people in our group if you have something you just want to go back and forth about here in the chat area. So that way you don't have to have a big, everyone looking at your conversation. If you just want to only ask one person, like, oh, hey, Suzanne, are you going to be bringing fruit to the meeting, or am I bringing fruit? Something like that, but you don't necessarily need to show up to the whole community. And there's also a handy little notifications bell, which will just let you know what new exciting things are going on. So that is our Mighty Network in a nutshell. One thing that's also really exciting to me about our plan for this going forward is that every month we have started to brainstorm a different theme, and each month is going to center on something like small space permaculture, which is why we made the video with John Gonzalez. And I'll give you a quick sneak peek into our brainstorming session of what we've thought about so far. We've got the whole year sort of plotted out, not that it's set in stone, but we've been thinking about what topic would be specifically fitting for each month, and we'll be popping in with specialized questions around that each month. We'll have an interview with someone who knows a lot about that topic once a month, and we'll be posting that as a video in this group. And we'll just really encourage conversation and ask everyone to share what they know about whatever the topic is whenever it rolls around. So each month is going to have a little bit more structure to it, so we're not just always kind of all over the place, but this way we'll be able to learn and grow and do things together. So that is our Mighty Network.
So thank you. And I think Suzanne is going to talk about our map.
I am. Thank you so much. And I will pull something up here as well. So Jessica, thanks. That was great. And I learned something new every time you show that, all the many features of the Mighty Network. So I'll talk briefly about something Jessica mentioned, which is our community network map on Kumu. The goal of which, along the lines of what Bob already shared, to build community and to find each other. And the map allows us to do this through searchable profiles that help us identify people with whom we might want to network or collaborate or just hang out with, based on interest, needs, and proximity. So the map's built on the Kumu platform, and the profiles that are featured in Kumu are actually built from that Southeast Texas Permaculture Community Survey that we really are hoping that more people will complete, so that we can include you on the map. And so, to show that to you now, can everybody see the map?
Yeah.
All right, to make sure. So thus far, there are not many of us here on the map, but a couple of things to point out. First of all, that this is, it does have a geo component. And so you can immediately take a look at the area and kind of see if there's anybody who's in your general vicinity. So over here, Ray and Bob and Sean are sort of generally in the Southwest Houston area. It's also possible to filter by interests based on tags that we all selected when we completed our profile. So here are some of those tags. So if I wanted to see who was a member of PINA and had diplomas, I, for instance, could see that that's Ray and Bob and Jessica as a member. And these are tags that we all selected for ourselves. And if you fill out the survey, you'll be able to also select these. And so that's one way that we can identify collaborators. Let me show you what some of these profiles look like. Here's Bob's. Starts out with a bio of his amazing career, and then also includes images, which he uploaded when he completed the survey. And then there are those tags. And notice as I roll over a tag, the map automatically adjusts to show me others who also are in that same category. So that's kind of a neat feature as well. And some other information about Bob that he chose to share. And so take a look at Ray's profile. And his also includes a link to a YouTube video and the interview that Shelley did with him. So, so the map, there are not many of us on here yet, but we are very much hoping that more of you will choose to fill out the survey. This is that survey that we shared with you in email, and which forms the basis of the profile in the Kumu map. So going back to the presentation, what else did I want to say? And so that was a very, very quick overview of what we've already got on there. There is a lot of potential and some next steps for this, among which is adding organizations to the map that are relevant to community members and showing the relationships that we might have with those organizations as an aid for networking. And we can add all the kinds of assets to the map as well. Something that we've been looking at recently is adding another layer to the map that actually makes it more interactive, makes it dynamic rather than static, and allows us to maintain those profiles individually. And there are some of these existing apps that sit on top of a Kumu map that do things like allow you to identify potential collaborators based on interest and needs. So a couple of examples of that. I haven't shown any of you guys this either, but this is something called Weaver, which is an app that is made by the same people who made Kumu. And this community, these are real people. I'm actually a member of this particular community. This is the community of people who are playing with Weaver, essentially, and are sort of social network map type people. So I'm on here, I'm just initials. I haven't put my picture on here yet, but this is what it looks like. And a couple of the cool features of this is my friend Amy. And as you can see, as on our map, she has a profile. She has some tags, but not just, these are all the things that I click that I either am interested in or I'm an expert in, but it actually makes a distinction between things that where you have expertise and needs that you might have. So basically this has an offers and needs system built into it. So she offers facilitation, and she really would like somebody to work with her on podcast mentoring. Also, this might complement the the Mighty Network a little bit, Weaver has built in this messages capability so that you can actually interact with other people on that map. Rather than just sort of, here's their profile, there they are, now I go offline or somewhere else and interact. You can actually send messages within the app. So this is all potentially connected to Kumu. So just to reiterate, the more profiles we add to the map, the more useful it becomes. And I'd be glad to help anybody who's interested in learning more about it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. Shelley, you want to add something?
Sure, I would love to. So really the point of this is not just to orient people to what's here, but to also ask for your feedback, ask for your ideas, ask for what you want out of the community. So we've put together a few questions to get that conversation started, and I'll just put those out there. The first of all is, are you interested in being connected with us and the other practitioners of permaculture in our bioregion? And if you are, man, come on, join Mighty Networks, put your name on the map, and tell us, what do you want to get out of this community? We're doing our best to say, well, these are things we're interested in and we think will be of service, and based on what we hear from people, this is what we're doing. But we would really love to have your input on very specific things that would be valuable to you, like the topics or the monthly themes that Jessica mentioned in Mighty Networks, how you would like to be able to search to find people, like what's relevant to you, what kind of events would you like to see or would you like to create? This is not our network, this is our network. So what would make it yours? And also, you know, what can we do that would be fun? It's not just work to be permaculturists. This is fellowship and fun and excitement as well. And all of this ultimately is in service of what are we doing for ourselves and our community that's really going to make a difference. Bob talked about climate change up front. There's all sorts of levels of preparation and of being proactive and of, yeah, just making our systems work better for us. So our ask today is not just what do you want, but also who else would you want to invite? As Suzanne said, the more people join, the more valuable it is for everybody who's in the network. So let us know who you'd like to invite. Just invite them, share the links, invite them. We'll be happy to see them. If you have other questions or ideas, please share with us. As you know, we are on Mighty Networks and we're available via the map. Suzanne shared her email, and we'll have links available in Mighty Networks as well. You can certainly just search Southeast Texas Permaculture in Mighty Networks and you will come straight to us. Please come, we would welcome you.
Thank you, Shelley. I think with that, this closes things for tonight. But again, your input would help a lot. And we can do an awful lot with a little bit of help. So please help.